he threw his departed canine down into the hole, and the dog actually came back to him.
Seattle, a city of innovation, coffee, and rain. But beneath its misty surface lies a tapestry of enigmas and secrets that many locals prefer to keep buried. From mysterious notes warning homeowners to avoid looking under their floors, to tales of bottomless pits that defy explanation, to mass delusions, Seattle's history is riddled with stories that blur the line between fact and folklore. In this video, we delve into the Emerald City's most perplexing conspiracies, stories that have been whispered about for decades, yet remain unresolved. Are these mere urban legends, or is there truth lurking in the shadows? Welcome to Maps Explained, where we journey through the world's most intriguing mysteries, one video at a time. Today, we're exploring Seattle's 12 darkest conspiracies. Stay with us till the end. You won't believe what the Emerald City is hiding. Seattle is often described as a city that's polite, but distant, a phenomenon known as the Seattle Freeze. While some attribute this to the city's Nordic roots or the introverted nature of its tech-driven population, others believe there's a deeper, more deliberate effort to keep outsiders at bay. Many locals have grown up in tight-knit social circles that date back generations. Newcomers often struggle to break into these pre-existing networks, which can feel like impenetrable walls of silence. Social gatherings are often pre-arranged, with long-standing friends, leaving little room for spontaneous connections. This results in a kind of invisible barrier where politeness masks disinterest. And then, there are those who believe the freeze is intentional, a protective mechanism designed to preserve Seattle's unique identity against waves of newcomers. With the tech boom bringing in transplants from all over the country, some locals see emotional distance as a way to guard their culture and community. It's not that they can't connect, they simply choose not to. In fact, sociologists studying urban behavior have found Seattle ranks among the lowest in terms of neighborly interaction. Some link this to the city's booming housing market and tech-fueled transience. People move in, stay a few years, and move on. So why bother forming connections that won't last? This emotional turnover might reinforce the freeze, cementing it into Seattle's cultural DNA. Another theory is weather and light. Seattle's long gray winters have been associated with seasonal affective disorder, SAD, which can lead to withdrawal and social fatigue. This natural emotional dimming may contribute to the coolness of its people. Or maybe, just maybe, the city prefers to keep its secrets close, including its smiles. In 1954, Seattle residents were gripped by a bizarre phenomenon: tiny pits appearing on car windshields. Panic ensued, with theories ranging from cosmic rays to sand flea eggs to aliens. Even the mayor sought federal assistance. The pits themselves varied in size and shape, some as small as pinheads, others more like pebbled cracks. Drivers believed something external had caused the damage, as the marks often appeared overnight. With no clear cause and thousands of reports flooding in, fear spread like wildfire. Psychologists studying the event later used it as a textbook example of mass delusion. When one person notices a minor flaw, others begin to see it too. But not everyone buys this theory. Some believe the pits were a result of secret military tests from nearby Hanford or naval facilities. Tests that involved vibrations or sound waves that could weaken glass. If true, it means the public was being used as unknowing test subjects. There were also reports of similar pitting incidents in other cities, but none as widespread as Seattle. Some claimed to see flashes of light in the sky just before the pits appeared, further fueling rumors of radioactive fallout or military activity. To this day, no definitive explanation has been accepted by everyone, and some old-timers in the Puget Sound area still believe something happened that spring. Others suggest it was a media contagion. Local newspapers and radio broadcasts played a huge role in amplifying the phenomenon, As soon as one story broke, more followed. Fear spread not because of what people saw in their cars, but because of what they heard on the airwaves. After the media pointed it out, people actually looked at their windshields and noticed damage they hadn't before. Was the windshield pitting epidemic a social experiment? A test in psychological warfare? Or just a collective delusion? For years, a Coke machine stood in Capitol Hill, dispensing random sodas with buttons labeled mystery. No one ever saw it stocked, and then one day, it vanished without a trace. Some say it was a quirky art project. Others believe it was a portal to another dimension, or at least to a time when soda cost 75 cents.
She drove us here last night to see this soda machine, only to discover it's gone.
Locals swore that the sodas it dispensed weren't even available in the US. Brands like Pepsi AM, Surge, and Fanta Melon Frosty. Drinks discontinued decades earlier suddenly reappeared, chilled and ready. It felt like the machine was tapping into an alternate timeline.
I think that made it fun, because you never knew what you were getting.
Coke and
A diet soda,
Mostly cream sodas I've gotten.
or some store brand Bobo.
There's even a theory that the machine was a nexus point, a kind of urban wormhole, placed deliberately on a street corner, heavy with ley lines or psychic energy. According to fringe theorists, the machine could only be refilled by someone out of phase with our reality, someone who could walk between dimensions. And when interest peaked, the machine vanished, as if it had served its purpose, or worse, had been found out.
Even though I never really used it, it was, I kind of smiled every time I walked by it.
hopefully it went to go get a makeover and be back.
Reddit threads exploded with speculation. Was the machine part of a global alternate reality game? A surveillance device hidden in plain sight? One theory even connected it to Project Pegasus, a rumored DARPA initiative in time travel. Whatever its origin, the fact that it dispensed forgotten sodas with eerie precision remains a mystery that refuses to fizzle out. To this day, some believe the machine was not man-made at all, or if it was, its creators weren't from around here. That old machine on the Capitol Hill sidewalk may have looked like a nostalgic novelty, but maybe, just maybe, it was something far more cosmic. Most visitors don't know this, but the modern streets of Seattle are actually built above the original city. After the Great Seattle Fire of 1889, instead of rebuilding directly on the ruins, the city raised its streets, leaving entire blocks beneath the sidewalks, now known as the Seattle Underground. Officially, it's a tourist attraction, but in reality, that's just scratching the surface. At various points in time, the tunnels were used by the homeless for gambling halls and even opium dens. After the passing of the Prohibition Act in 1919, speakeasies popped up throughout the underground. Whispers persist of secret tunnels used by bootleggers, cults, and even government operatives during World War II. Some say there's an entire sealed-off section no tour is allowed to enter, guarded by rusted gates and marked only with cryptic symbols. In 1997, a man named Mel Waters called into the radio show Coast to Coast AM, claiming he discovered a bottomless hole on his property near Ellensburg, Washington.
All right. When did you discover this hole?
The hole has always been there. We've been out there for a couple of years now, and
He alleged that objects thrown into the hole never made a sound upon hitting the bottom, and that a dead dog tossed in was later seen alive.
the one guy claims that he threw his departed canine down into the hole, and he swears the dog actually came back to him.
The story spiraled into a full-blown conspiracy, with tales of government cover-ups and paranormal activity. Mel claimed he had measured the hole's depth using a fishing line tied to a spool with a weight. He lowered 80,000 feet of line and still never hit bottom.
Right now I'm in a little town called Ellensburg.
You really think you've got 80,000?
Yes, yeah, I get line in 5,000-yard spools.
Waters said the hole had a 3-foot stone wall around it. It seemed bottomless to him.
What I did is I sent down a roll of lifesavers. So when it hits the water, the lifesavers will dissolve.
But the lifesavers came back up whole, no water. So how deep was this hole?
Then, after his appearance on Coast to Coast, he said government agents leased his land for $3 million a year. Waters disappeared to Australia, but later came back and was abducted. He says satellite images showed a white box around his property, so no one could investigate the hole further. Skeptics say it's a hoax, but the hole's legend persists. Independent teams have searched for it, and although no official site has been verified, locals claim the government sealed it off. Some theorists believe the hole was an entrance to an underground base or an interdimensional rift, something too dangerous to leave unguarded. Others point to strange electromagnetic readings in the area, odd animal behavior, and even missing persons cases near the supposed site. Reddit sleuths even claim to have discovered its location. Whether it's a myth, a metaphor, or something far more real, Mel's Hole continues to pull curious minds into its gravitational pull. An old urban legend suggests that in 1906, a dead horse was dumped into Ballard's water supply to push the town towards annexation by Seattle. While there's no official record confirming this, the story reflects the intense political maneuvering of the era. According to the tale, pro-annexation forces wanted to create a crisis that would make Ballard residents desperate for Seattle's help. The carcass was allegedly placed in the reservoir to poison the water, a dramatic, if horrifying, act of political theater. Days later, residents fell ill, and pressure to merge with Seattle grew stronger. Theories point to a small group of influential businessmen tied to real estate interests who would benefit from annexation. Whether the dead horse was real or metaphor, the story hints at how far some were willing to go to manipulate public perception and secure their gains. Rumors even named a city official who allegedly approved the plan in secret. Though never proven, whispers of the horse have persisted for over a century, surviving through local bar tales and occasional newspaper references. It remains one of Seattle's most quietly told, but never forgotten, political ghost stories. Some locals claim that the spirit of Nirvana's frontman, Kurt Cobain, haunts the park near his former home. Visitors have reported eerie feelings, and some even say they've seen his ghost. While there's no concrete evidence, the legend persists, adding a spectral layer to Seattle's grunge history. One frequent claim involves a soft humming noise, reminiscent of Cobain's vocals, heard near the memorial bench in Veretta Park, especially late at night or during rainfall. Some visitors report sudden chills or the feeling of being watched while sitting there. A few have even captured orbs of light or strange distortions in photos taken at the site. Whether it's the power of suggestion or something supernatural, Kurt's presence seems to linger in the place where his legacy ended. In 1910, a bomb exploded in the under-construction Lyon building. Initially blamed on disgruntled laborers, it was later linked to James B. McNamara, who confessed to the bombing as part of a nationwide campaign against anti-union businesses. The incident remains a stark reminder of Seattle's tumultuous labor history. McNamara was part of the International Association of Bridge and Structural Iron Workers, and the bombing was just one in a series of attacks meant to strike fear into the hearts of anti-union employers. His arrest and trial sparked nationwide debate about workers' rights versus acts of terror. Some hailed him as a martyr for the working class. Others saw him as a dangerous extremist. The Lyon building, still standing today, remains a physical reminder of how explosive Seattle's labor wars once were. Frank Colacurcio Sr. ran Seattle's underworld for decades, with ventures in strip clubs, racketeering, and political corruption. The 2003 Strippergate scandal exposed how deep his influence went, involving city council members and leading to federal indictments. It's a tale of crime, politics, and the kind of family business you don't find on LinkedIn.
This is the most significant organized crime investigation that we have ever undertaken.
At its peak, Colacurcio's empire controlled a network of adult clubs stretching from Seattle to California. Allegations included extortion, money laundering, and even vote buying. Federal investigations revealed bribes paid to public officials in exchange for zoning permits and law enforcement blind eyes. Strippergate began when an audit revealed questionable campaign donations linked to Colacurcio-owned businesses. Soon, subpoenas followed, and so did resignations. What began as a zoning dispute unraveled into a story of systemic corruption that had festered for decades. Some believe Colacurcio's influence reached even higher than prosecutors ever proved. In 2025, a Seattle couple found a cryptic note hidden atop a kitchen cabinet. "Don't look under the floor," followed by a string of numbers. Reddit sleuths went wild, suggesting everything from hidden treasure to a prank by previous owners. The numbers don't correlate to any Seattle address. Some speculate the note might be linked to another property entirely, or perhaps to coordinates where something else is buried. The couple hasn't checked under the floorboards yet. If something lies beneath, it may be mundane, or it might become Seattle's next viral mystery. In 1985, Seattle attorney Charles Goldmark, his wife, and their 2 sons were brutally murdered in their Madrona home. The killer, fueled by a baseless belief that the Goldmarks were part of a communist conspiracy, acted on paranoia, stoked by right-wing propaganda. This horrific event serves as a chilling reminder of how dangerous misinformation can be when taken to extremes. The murderer, David Rice, had been radicalized by far-right newsletters that falsely claimed the Goldmarks were part of a Marxist plot to take over local government. He believed he was on a mission to stop a so-called Red Menace infiltrating the Pacific Northwest. Driven by delusions and fear, he broke into their home on Christmas Eve.
A lot of people are going to say I'm psycho or something like that, but there really is a definite plan to turn this world into a one-world communist government.
The attack was premeditated and shockingly brutal. It shook Seattle to its core and led to calls for greater regulation of hate-fueled propaganda. Though Rice was caught and sentenced, the case still stands as a grim warning of how ideology, when weaponized, can lead to tragedy. Few people know this story, and those who do refuse to speak about it on record. In the early 1980s, residents of Beacon Hill began reporting an odd, low-frequency hum that seemed to vibrate through the ground at night. It wasn't audible to everyone. Only some people could hear it, usually those in older buildings or with certain audio sensitivities.
It will keep you awake because it's peculiar, and this noise was very odd.
It does have an unworldly sound to it.
Eventually, some curious locals tracked the hum to a fenced-off lot near the old VA hospital. Security was unusually tight. Rumors swirled of an underground research facility conducting tests on sound manipulation, weather interference, or even mind control. FOIA requests were filed, but responses came back heavily redacted, if they came back at all. And without definitive evidence, the source of the Beacon Hill hum remains speculative.
It's kind of creepy. It creeps you out physically a little bit.
Kay Kirkpatrick tried to hunt down the source of the sound, but never found a smoking gun.
A few amateur radio operators claim to have picked up coded transmissions originating from the site. Some thought it was a Cold War relic, Others feared it was something much more modern and nefarious. One even claimed the signal affected his dreams, repeating coordinates and cryptic phrases. Then, just as suddenly as it started, the signal stopped. The lot was paved over, and the reports vanished. But some residents still claim to hear the hum, late at night, when the city's quietest, suggesting that the phenomenon may persist in some form. And they all say the same thing. Once you hear it, you never unhear it. Seattle may be known for its coffee, tech giants, and indie music scene. But peel back the layers, and you'll find something far more mysterious. We've uncovered stories of time-defying machines that may not be from our world, of an underground city hiding secrets from wars and rituals long forgotten, of eerie notes, spectral rock stars, and even alleged government cover-ups involving sound, paranoia, and bottomless holes. Each tale blurs the line between documented history and whispered legend. And through it all, one theme remains constant: silence. Whether it's the Seattle freeze, redacted documents, or vanished soda machines, this city has a way of hiding in plain sight. Seattle doesn't just keep its secrets close, it protects them. So next time you walk the foggy streets of Capitol Hill or glance toward the shuttered buildings of Beacon Hill, ask yourself, what haven't we been told? And more importantly, what are we not supposed to find out? If this video made you question what's really going on in the Emerald City, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you don't miss what we uncover next. Which of these conspiracies did you find the most chilling? Do you live in Seattle or know someone who's encountered any of these mysteries firsthand? Drop your thoughts and theories in the comments. And until next time, keep asking questions, keep listening for the hum, and remember, the weirdest stories are always the ones that are almost true.